Alright, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to my 8th anniversary video. Wow. Still can't believe it, man. 8 years. 8 years I started my original YouTube account. For those of you who don't know, this is technically my third account, if you want to count that. Technically my third account. But I started my original YouTube account March 13th, 2008. 8 years later, man, I cannot wait for the 10th anniversary one. But anyway, so last year, I showed you guys my Spider-Man collection. So this year, I'm going to do my Blu-ray collection video. And the only reason why I'm doing Blu-ray is because I have a crap ton more DVDs, and it's probably going to take an hour if I do both. So, and my VHSs are back there too. So, that'll probably take another hour. But anyway, so I've been trying to collect and keep up with all my Blu-rays and everything for almost 6 years now. And you know how it is, you find one movie that just came out on Blu-ray that was in the theaters and you want to buy that, but then you also have to rebuy your movies that were on DVD on Blu-ray, and then you have to find out which ones you can get in stores, which ones you can only get online, and it's a hassle, it's a big mess. I don't know how I keep track of it, but I try. Okay. So, without further ado, let us begin. So we're going to start off with the Harry Potter collection. This is years 1 through 6 because I own the last two ones on Blu-ray separately. So they're in the little like skinny ones, which I'm not really a big fan of, but whatever. I like the box. So anyway, so in order from favorite to least favorite, I guess probably Prisoner of Azkaban is probably my favorite one out of all of them. Uh, I remember being so hyped for this movie back in third grade. Wow. And Goblet of Fire. I remember Goblet of Fire being really, really hyped on the playground. Um, so yeah, so I like every single one of them. Um, I have an extra copy of Half-Blood Prince on Blu-ray. This is the original Blu-ray edition. And I think Half-Blood Prince is a very underrated movie. A lot of people do not like it because it doesn't... While it follows the book to a T, there's a lot of differences, especially towards the end. So a lot of people don't like the Half-Blood Prince movie, but I like it. Like, I think it's really underrated. It's probably the funniest Harry Potter movie, in my opinion. So now we have Deathly Hallows Part 1, and we have Deathly Hallows Part 2, and this nice little lenticular cover, which I really, really like. I think it's cool. So yeah, so overall, I really enjoy the Harry Potter series. I've loved it ever since I was a kid, and it's pretty cool. The Woman in Black. The only reason why I have this movie in the first place is because of Daniel Radcliffe. I like him as an actor, and in this movie, he's probably the best actor in the movie, in my opinion. Um, there are scenes in the movie where it does get kind of intense, a little bit, I guess, chilling, I guess would be the best term to describe this. There's a little bit of thrills in the movie, I guess you would say. Predator. This is a classic movie. Schwarzenegger, get to the chopper, watch this movie. Dumb and Dumber. Classic Jim Carrey from the 90s. I have not seen Dumb and Dumber 2 because I don't want to. Inception. This is Christopher Nolan's... I would probably say it's probably my third favorite Christopher Nolan movie. But what else has not been said about this movie? It's an amazing movie. Watch it. Interstellar. When I first saw this movie, I didn't know what to think about it. I was like, what is going on? Like, it went it kind of blew my mind a little bit at first. Uh, but after multiple rewatches, I have to say this is probably one of my favorite movies of 2014. It's so, I don't know how to describe it, man. Like, you have to watch it in order to fully get the gist of everything, I guess you would say. And the Hans Zimmer music in this, ooh, it's so good. So good. Skyfall. This is the only James Bond movie I have on Blu-ray. I need to pick up the rest of the series soonish. Um, Especially since it's the only Daniel Craig one I have too. I need to pick up Casino Royale. I don't know why I've yet to get that. But Skyfall's a really good movie. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Again, this is the only Mission Impossible movie I have on Blu-ray. I need to pick up the rest of the series on Blu-ray very soon. So this is the very first Mission Impossible movie I actually saw in the theater, which was a really, really awesome experience. Really, really awesome experience. Um, and that led me to seeing Rogue Nation in the theaters just last summer, and it was a really, really awesome movie as well. Saving Private Ryan, classic Spielberg, classic Tom Hanks, Matt Damon. Watch the movie. Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. I have the original one on DVD over there. I need to get it on Blu-ray again. You see how it is, man? It's like you're so used to collecting DVDs that once a new format comes out, you're like, oh, great. Now I gotta rebuy all the movies on here because they're all in HD on Blu-ray, and it's just much better on Blu-ray. Uh, but yeah, I like Robert Downey Jr. That's why I even own this in the first place. It's a pretty decent movie series in general. I like the comedy in it. Same thing with this, The Great Gatsby. I only have this movie because I love the book. Um, we saw the movie in my senior year of high school. And the only reason why I remember it is for two things. One, there was a fight in the movie theater before the movie even began, so I mean that was my high school for you. And once Leo turned around and said, "I'm Gatsby," literally like the whole entire female senior year, like literally like screamed up the top of their lungs. And let's just say it was kind of intense in that movie theater. But anyway, I shrieked when I saw Tobey Maguire. I didn't do it in the movie theater. I shrieked internally. So, because I mean, it's Spider-Man. But yeah, Leo, really good actor. Tobey Maguire, awesome. It's a little bit too stylized, maybe. The Jay-Z music is really, really unfitting for the time period. But overall, I think it's a good adaptation, I guess you would say. Machete Kills. I have yet to see this movie. I got it for like $4 on Black Friday. Danny Trejo, really awesome actor. Uh, Alexa Vega, I think, is in this movie, and I only remember her from the Spy Kids series. I almost said Spy Girl. Like, what? Now, hold up for a second. Hold up for a second. All right, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Jack, why do you have A Good Day to Die Hard on Blu-ray, but you don't have Casino Royale on Blu-ray? First of all, I got this for, like, again, $4 on Black Friday. So, I mean, it's like, why not? I haven't even watched the movie anyway. I haven't even watched the movie. Now, this next one, you're gonna probably shake your head even more at me. But yes, I own Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. These movies were my childhood. They are probably, if I were to make a top 10 guilty pleasure movies, these two movies would probably be 3 and 2, next to Inspector Gadget. But I have particular reasons for that movie. But this movie, okay, so I am a big Scooby-Doo fan. A very big Scooby-Doo fan. I loved the series as a kid, and when the movies came out, I was hyped. Okay? Just imagine that you're like, oh, what? I was, what, 8 years old at the time? Not even, like 7? Whatever, 2002, I think, was when the first movie came out. So I was 6. Alright, so doing the math there. Uh, but yeah, I loved these movies as a kid. I even played the GBA game of the first movie. Yeah. Really hyped for that animated Scooby-Doo movie coming out in a few years, though, in theaters. Dead Poet Society, one of my favorite movies of all time. Robin Williams, the legend, nails it in this movie. He is so, so good, man. And I am in college right now to become a teacher, and this movie inspired me so much back in high school that it's one of the reasons why I even pursued being a teacher. You know, this movie inspired me so much. Great movie. E.T., one of my favorite movies of all time as well. I grew up watching the re-release of it, to which, yeah, I know, the FBI agents had the walkie-talkies and everything instead of the guns, whatever, but back then it wasn't a big deal to me. But still, this is an amazing movie. Watch it. The Spider-Man trilogy. So, you already know how much I love Spider-Man. And, well, I like this little design they have here. It's not exactly the best packaging. Like, I would have liked this if this was just like a display thing and everything, but you see, like, the discs are here and you have to slide them out and everything, and I'm like really scared that one day I'm gonna like ship it off or whatever, but Blu-ray discs are durable, so that's a good thing. But yeah, you know my stance on the Spider-Man movies. If you don't know already, Spider-Man 2 is my favorite movie of all time. Spider-Man 1 is one of my favorite childhood movies of all time. Spider-Man 3 is one of my most underrated movies of all time. Yes, I just said that on camera. I actually like Spider-Man 3. I have a Spider-Man 3 poster back there, which you can't see because it's out of focus. Bam. I just dropped the invisible mic. Speaking of Spider-Man 3, I have another copy of it on Blu-ray. Yeah. It's underrated. The Amazing Spider-Man. Again, I was really, really excited for this movie. Overall, it's not as bad as what people say it is. It's a mediocre to average movie at best. There are certain scenes in which they nailed it. Like Spider-Man swinging around in first person, beautiful. Like, it's amazing. And Spider-Man's quips in this movie is actually really good too. And I actually like the kind of dark overtone they tried doing with it. But Iron Man. Iron Man. Really was really excited for this movie when it first came out in theaters. Again, I had only known Iron Man from playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance back in like 2007 and everything, 2008. But Iron Man, really, really great movie. Iron Man 2, a very underrated movie in my opinion. I don't think it's as bad as what people say it is. It's certainly not the best Iron Man movie. It's probably the worst Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, but it's certainly not as bad as what people say it is. The Hulk. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's an underrated movie. Yes, it is bad. It is actually a bad movie in context of what a comic book movie is supposed to be. If you look at this movie as a monster movie, it is actually a very, very intriguing movie. But because it's a comic book movie based off the Hulk, yeah, the whole poodle scene and everything, it's not very good. The Incredible Hulk, This is where it's at for me. Edward Norton, in my opinion, was very underrated as Bruce Banner. I feel like he should have gotten another shot in the Avengers, but I like Mark Ruffalo. For what they chose, for who they chose to replace Edward Norton, I really, really loved it that they chose Mark Ruffalo. Okay, but the Incredible Hulk, love the movie. Uh, it's another underrated movie in my opinion because a lot of people don't talk about the Incredible Hulk anymore, and I like it so much I bought the Steelbook edition of it. Yeah, that's right. The exact same movie with the exact same special features. I only bought it because it was $10 at Target, and I like the cover. And it's a Steelbook. You can't go wrong with Steelbooks. Thor. Thor is an experience, I'll tell you that. Um, I like the parts on Asgard, but for some reason, I don't know why, but I like the parts where Thor was on Earth. Again, I don't know why. His maybe I just liked the quippy one-liners and the cheesiness of it all and everything, and it did not feel like a comic book movie. And I kind of liked it. Captain America, First Avenger is a very good movie. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Because we're getting into the Avengers now, and I have two copies of the Avengers. This is the 3D edition with the lenticular cover, which is really, really cool. See Iron Man's waving hi to you. Uh, Probably hands down my most anticipated movie of all time. Going into it, when the release was coming up, everybody was talking about it. Like, literally, I think every single person in the world was talking about this movie. Even if they weren't going to go see the movie, they were still talking about it. So I have that, and I have the original Blu-ray edition. Iron Man 3, on the other hand, again, not as bad as what people say it is, okay? Yes, the controversy for this movie, I understand where people are coming from, but if you think about it as on a movie twist for the regular old like comic book movies and everything, it's actually a pretty brilliant twist if you actually think about it. It's something that nobody saw coming. I don't think anybody could have predicted that twist. Nobody. Especially since they did not reveal that in the trailer. Thor: The Dark World. I have yet to see this movie, and yet I've had it for almost 2 years now. um, but from what I've seen, from like trailers and everything, it looked alright. Again, I really just have it so that I have my collection complete and everything for the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I will see it eventually. But overall, it looks alright. Now, The Winter Soldier, on the other hand, is an amazing movie. One of my top five favorite movies of 2014. My top five in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, it's that good of a movie. And it introduced Captain America to a widespread audience, I think. With the first Avenger, people were just like, it's Captain America, woo, woo, America, patriotism. But the Winter Soldier, it was a spy thriller. It was something that, again, was really, really different. I don't have Guardians of the Galaxy. I do want to pick it up. But for some reason, with Disney and their Blu-ray releases, they're like $30. And like, Iron Man 3 for the longest time was $30. I only got this because it was $10 like a few months ago. For like a limited time too. So it's like, I'm a college student, guys. Age of Ultron. I understand the flaws behind this movie. Definitely is not as good as the Avengers, but I still like it. Okay, I still had a lot of enjoyment seeing the movie in the theater with my friends. And that's what matters. Ant-Man. I really liked Ant-Man. again, much different than like Age of Ultron, for example. I like the references to the Avengers. Paul Rudd was actually a really good choice for Ant-Man. Fantastic Four. Yeah, so another story, a little quick story time. As a child, I was really excited to see this movie. Um, and I have TV guides, and I used to read interviews for this movie all the time and everything. And this is what got me into the Fantastic Four. So, I mean, if it weren't for this movie, I probably wouldn't have been really into the Fantastic Four. It's a bad movie, but I have to thank it. X-Men First Class. Really, really good movie. Nice reintroduction to the X-Men after the disasters that were X-Men 3 and Origins, ugh, which I used to have, but I don't have anymore. Though Wolverine, well, I have to admit the ending is really, really stupid. uh, the first three quarters of the movie were actually really, really good. And we have X-Men Days of Future Past. I want to get the road cut, but we'll see. But yeah, really, really good movie. Watchmen. Now, I have not seen this movie in such. It's been a long time since the last time I actually sat down and watched this movie. And when I first watched it, I was really mixed on it because I have never read the graphic novel before. I really want to read the graphic novel. But for the most part, it was okay. Like the movie was okay. The director's cut I think is much better than the theatrical cut. So if you're going to get any edition of the movie, get the director's cut. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. I don't have Part 2, but that's because I picked up the complete edition with the graphic novel included uh, just last week, actually. It's a really, really good adaptation of the graphic novel because I have never read it up until now, and it is an amazing, amazing movie, and the graphic novel is an amazing, amazing book. So, is it? So I have the complete part one and part two in here, mixed into one movie, and the graphic novel is it's so good, man. It is so so good. Like you need to read it. It's $20, people. You get the movie and you get the graphic novel. Uh, so now we're gonna get a quick little intermission, and we're gonna do like one little TV show. Arrow. I really really like Arrow. I have season one. Don't have season two. But that's because I have Netflix, so I had to do that and everything. Um, but yeah, I really really like Arrow. And The Flash. You people need to watch The Flash and Legends. I need to get into Legends of Tomorrow too. Like, there's so many shows and everything that I'm trying to get into, but school and everything and all that other stuff. Another steelbook, Superman Returns. While I look back at it, it's definitely an underwhelming movie, a very very underwhelming movie actually, if I actually do think about it. But not as bad as what people say. Definitely not as bad. There's some stupid parts in this movie, especially with the whole green kryptonite mountain towards the end with Lex Luthor and his plan. But a lot of scenes in this movie are actually really, really beautiful. Like the cinematography is just outstanding. Batman Begins steelbook. Um, Really, really good movie. How many times am I gonna say that? But no. Uh, Really, really enjoyable movie. I love the insert here. Like, I love the background here. It's amazing. The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger. Amazing job as a Joker. Really up the ante for what comic book movies should and could do in terms of actually being good. I mean, Iron Man a few months the months before in 2008 like really started the whole notion that hey, comic book movies can actually appeal to a wide variety of audiences, just like Spider-Man did back in 2002. The Dark Knight Rises. A lot of flaws in this movie. A lot of flaws. Like there's probably if you actually sat down and thought about it, there's maybe 1,000 plot holes in this movie. But you know what? It doesn't stop me from enjoying the movie. So I have four of the original Batman movies, and over Labor Day weekend last year, my friend and I literally sat down and watched every single one of these movies in a nonstop marathon. And 89 Batman is a great comic book movie. Tim Burton did an amazing job. Batman Returns is a very underrated movie. Danny DeVito is the Penguin. Can't go wrong with that. And Christopher Walken. So many jokes. So many jokes my friend and I made. Batman Forever, it's probably the most boring Batman movie out of the four here. And probably out of the whole entire series. I mean, Jim Carrey as the Riddler got some laughs and everything, but Tommy Lee Jones, it's like, dude, you're embarrassing yourself. Just go. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to remember you for like The Fugitive and movies like that. Okay, you don't have to bring up Two Face from Batman Forever. Okay, it's okay. All right. And Batman and Robin, great comedy movie. You know, it's a shitty movie, but it's a great comedy movie. Like literally, like grab yourself a bowl of popcorn or something like that and just sit down and just watch the fireworks, man. It is an amazing comedy movie. Man of Steel. A lot of people hate this movie. I like this movie a lot, actually. I actually really love it. Um, Again, a lot of plot holes in the movie, a lot of controversy in the movie, a lot of Superman destroys the city and nobody cares, even though the same thing in Superman 2, but people seem to forget about that. But anyway, I'm not here to start a debate. Uh, Hans Zimmer's score is incredible. I listen to it every single time I do my homework or if I'm just taking a walk or something like that. It is an amazing soundtrack. Like you need to listen to the soundtrack. And as for Batman v Superman, cautiously optimistic, I guess would be the best term to describe that movie. I'm super pumped about Civil War, by the way. Like, I cannot wait for Civil War. But Batman v Superman, cautiously optimistic, I think is the best term here. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is one of my favorite animated movies, especially around Christmas time. The Lego Movie. I have yet to watch the movie because I got it over Black Friday. Haven't gotten around to watch it, but it's a really, really good movie from what I've heard. Aladdin. This is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. So when it came out on Blu-ray last year, I had to pick it up. I got the Target version, and I thought that... See, I thought that this little booklet here was gonna come with, like, you know, like, behind-the-scenes stuff and everything, like, illustrations and everything, and I thought that would be really, really cool, but no, it's literally just a children's book of Aladdin, which is fine and everything, you know, it's fine, you know, it's a good read, but it's literally just a storybook of Aladdin when you can just watch the movie. I mean, I actually would have liked it if it was like, you know, concept art and, you know, behind the scenes stuff and everything, but it's a children's storybook of Aladdin, which again is fine and everything, but, you know, kind of would have liked it if it was the storybook and behind the scenes stuff. Just saying. Just a little nitpick. The Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. The Emperor's New Groove, I grew up with this movie. Loved it, loved it, loved it as a kid. That Sting song at the end of the movie, I used to listen to that on blast all the time in my room as a kid, and I loved it. Kronk's New Groove, I actually watched this movie again after almost a... Did it come out in 2006? Or 2007? I don't remember. I want to say 2006 though. So the last time I watched it, it was like on VHS back in like 2007. So, and I watched this recently with my friend about a week ago, and there was some sexual innuendos in that movie. I'll say that. Toy Story 2. Now, the only reason why I only have Toy Story 2 on Blu-ray is because, again, Disney movies are $30-$40 each, and I can't buy three $30 Blu-rays at once. I have to buy them sparingly. And I had to buy Toy Story 2 because my DVD of Toy Story 2, at least the movie part, is so scratched up from watching it so much that it literally will not play anymore. Like, it literally will not play anymore. But yeah, this is the bare bones edition because this edition came out for like $20 at first. Now it's like 30 again, and it's like, really? Like, I could just buy the special editions now? Like, come on, man, really? Like, I thought this would get like a price drop or something like that, but no. Of course not. Finding Nemo. Really, really love this movie as a kid. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies ever. Love the music in it, by the way. And Finding Dory, I saw the trailer to it, and I thought it looked okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm probably gonna see it, but it's kind of giving me the same vibes as Monsters University did. Tron, the original movie. It's a very good experimental movie, I guess you would say. Like show this to somebody who like plays like constantly like current generation games, and then show them this, and they're gonna be like, yeah, that's right. That's what graphics looked like in the 80s. And finally, we have this thing. I picked this up about almost a month ago, I guess you would say now. It was like 3 weeks ago. But anyway, this is the collector's edition, right? Yeah, Batman Bad Blood, the newest Batman DC animated movie that came out. It came with this little Nightwing figure, which I think is really, really cool. It came with the movie, of course, and it came with the graphic novel of Batman Battle for the Cowl, which I've never read before, so it was really awesome. Okay, so my camera decided to say, okay, you're done recording. Even though I have like 1 more minute. But anyway, the movie itself, as I'm getting back, the movie itself was okay, you know. Definitely not the worst, but definitely not the best either. You know, there were some parts where I kind of wish they focused more on Nightwing, you know, actually being Batman, and the complexity of that character. I kind of wish they focused more on that and everything. But overall, it was a good movie and everything. You know, I liked the fight scenes in it. So yeah, so that is my entire Blu-ray collection. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for 8 years on YouTube. Again, still cannot believe that, man. It's so crazy. It's like, you know, I'm gonna run out of collection videos to make. I guess really quickly, I've been reading this. I picked up Spider-Gwen, the first few volumes of it, and I've been really, really enjoying it. So yeah, you should buy that. So last minute recommendation from me, yeah. Keeping it real. But anyway, so thank you guys for watching again. Thank you for 8 years on YouTube, and I will catch you all later.